Hey scholars, welcome back to this video, and it's nice to see you all once again in this video. And to those of you who have just subscribed, hi everyone, welcome to the family. And in this video I'll be going over and previewing the new upcoming cosmic mythic monster Manipulate. Now if you haven't seen my previous calendar video, I suggest you see it first so that you know who Manipulate is and how he's available, etc, etc. Just a brief overview for those of you who do not want to watch the video. It is a new maze monster that will be available next week in the Raiders of the Night Maze, and this monster is pretty good because he's a metal controller with possession skills, and we need monsters in the deny category right now into the game because we had a lot of attackers, we had a lot of supporters. Now it's time for the deniers to shine, and we have been getting a lot of deniers like Hendrik, we had Lindworm, and this is Manipulate. So I'm pretty excited, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. So first of all, we have Manipulate straight. He has at rank 0 immunity to blind. Now at rank 0 he has immunity to blind, and that is what most people will be getting him at. Immunity to blind is not that great of a trait to have because not a lot of monsters have blind as a main deny form, and blind is not even 100% guarantee that your turn is lost. So yeah, I do not prefer that trait at all. And at rank 1 he gains immunity to immediate death. Again, immediate death can be removed by negative status effects. Not a lot of monsters rely on that mechanic. So again, at rank 1, the trait is trash, and at rank 3, he becomes a status caster, gaining immunity to stun at the start of every battle. Now, stun immunity is important because there are monsters that have stun as the main form of deny skill. That, for example, the free Legends Pass monster, which was Aatrox, that is currently the free Legends Pass monster, excuse me. Aatrox can stun everyone, so that could potentially prove useful, but again, it is a status caster. That means that it will be having this trait at the start of the battle, but as the turn progresses, the trait will expire and then he won't have this trait. So basically, the trait is not as good as I expected it to be. I personally was expecting something like Artifact or something like immunity to control or possession, but sadly he does not have that, and for the trait I am pretty disappointed. Now moving on to the skills. So I have Manipulate skill set here, and the move set is not in order, so this could be like best moves first, best moves last, or it could be a jumble of moves, so we won't know what is the default skill, what is not the default skill, what is main skill, etc. But we will get a general idea of what kind of skills he has. So the first skill, that is Atom's Fusion, that deals moderate metal damage to one enemy, applies possession, and a damage boost to one enemy, requires cooldown. Now, having read this skill beforehand, I know that this skill is a double-edged sword. Why do I call this skill a double-edged sword? Because a lot of monsters have traits like Dove, traits like Harden, Bulwark, etc. And this skill has a potential to fail. For example, you could possibly apply the damage boost and you may not land the possession, or you may land the possession and you may not land the damage boost. So it is a pretty thin line if you manage to be successful with the skill or not. So I suggest you use it with caution. And other than that, a lot of monsters are immune to possession. For example, Lindworm has at rank 3 immunity to possession. Then we have monsters with immunity to control, that is Heist, and then we have what's his face, Ignis, that is immune to control as well, and a lot of other monsters who are immune to control, immune to possession, so that won't work on them. Then we have the move Liquid System, that restores all cooldowns and applies immunity control to itself, requires cooldown. Now this skill does not speak to me at all, the reason being that this restoring of cooldowns is only workable when you are at a deadlock and you have no other skills to go for. And if you are cooldowns activated, this won't obviously not work because this is not a 0 cooldown skill, because this has a cooldown requirement. Now if you are cooldowns activated and you wanted to restore your cooldowns, there is no other way except some other monster deactivates your cooldowns. But this move could have been useful if it had something like an extra turn, or if it had something like 0 cooldowns, so that your cooldowns were restored. Then we also have immunity to control with this skill. Now immunity to control is useful in certain kinds of situations, but if it had, for example, an extra turn, it could apply immunity to control to itself, do its deny, and then potentially not be denied in the extra turn. So Liquid System, Then we have the move Driver's Update, that deals moderate metal damage to one enemy, applies Mega Possession to one enemy, requires a cooldown. Now Mega Possession is a super good skill to have. Now Mega Possession will possess the enemy for 2 turns, which is amazing because you have twice the chance for the enemy to attack themselves and possibly finish them out, so that is pretty good. Then we have the move Magnetism Attraction, that deals moderate metal damage to one enemy, applies Daze to one enemy, and Nanovirus to an enemy. Now this is an amazing skill. The reason I'm saying this is amazing because it will reduce the accuracy of the enemies by 25%, reducing their chances of landing attacks on you. Then we also have nanovirus. Now nanovirus will deal damage over time, and furthermore it will also prevent enemies from applying positive effects to itself. For example, this could prove very useful when you're going against Sunblast and they have that skill that applies Megaton to itself that has a 0-turn cooldown. Now if you have nanovirus on that Megaton won't work. Also, Sunblast can apply double damage to himself, and then we have Hardy that can apply double damage and space time. That won't work as well because you are applying nanovirus, will not allow for positive status effects to be applied to the enemy. And also you can use this for Vanish 2099 when his initial pierce has run out. You can do this move and then he cannot apply pierce to himself once again. And this also applies for evasion and any other skill that has a positive effect, so this will ruin any kind of positive effects for the enemy. Then we have energy release. That is an AoE of the version magnetism attraction. It will deal AoE days and AoE nanovirus, which is pretty interesting. That is for the entire team. So I think potentially energy release is better than magnetism attraction because it will affect the entire enemy team rather than applying on a single monster. Then for the moveset, on the second page we have humanity loss. That will deal low metal damage to all enemies and applies daze to all enemies. This is basically a lowered down version that does not apply nanovirus. So yeah, humanity lost. Then we have the skill blinded by power that will deal moderate metal damage to one enemy and also applies blind to one enemy. Now this can prove useful in a lot of different situations. For example, you are in a pinch and you cannot use a possession because the enemies are immune to control, and the next turn their denier goes and will potentially deny everyone. You can apply blind on him and it will reduce his accuracy severely. And it could also be used in conjunction with your previous skill. That is, for example, you do energy release that will apply nanovirus and daze to everyone. Then you can follow up with the blind on the denier to further reduce the accuracy of the denier by a total of 75%, which will be super useful. And then there will be a very low chance that you will be denied. Then we have the move Cells Manipulation that will deal low metal damage to all enemies and apply possession to everyone. Now this is an AoE possession. This is the star skill of this monster, and yeah, it applies possession to everyone and can prove very useful. And yeah, this is the main skill. This is very self-explanatory. I cannot add on to that. Then we have the move which is a special, that is a core overload that will deal moderate metal damage and also remove positive status effects and applies mega possession. That is very interesting and very good to have. Now this is the kind of special I expect from deniers. For example, they apply their main deny skill and also apply something extra, and that is it. I really like this special. Now as for the runes of this monster, I would recommend running all speed runes. That is 3 speed runes, which are the orange ones in case you didn't know. And yeah, now if I were to rate this monster out of a possible 10, I would give him a 7.5 because his possession is easily countered. Number one, he does not have something other than possession. Like, for I know he has daze and nanovirus, but I wanted something other than possession that could potentially deny the enemies for a single turn. Like, I could have a single turn thing, but yeah, I know we have mega possession, but that is the same as possession. So yeah, that is why I gave him a 7.5. Now as for the skills that I would recommend on this monster, definitely the star skill, that is Cells Manipulation. Then I would run blinded by power, that will single blind. Then I would run energy release, which is the AoE daze and nanovirus. And for the last move, I will run either driver's update, that is the mega possession, or Atom's Fission, that will apply damage boost or possession depending on whether you want to take the risk or not. I would suggest you run driver's update more than Atom's Fission because Atom's Fission is again a double-edged sword and can turn things very ugly for you in the battle. And having said that, yeah, that is my preview on the monster Manipulate, and I hope you enjoyed this preview. And if you want to see more videos like this, I would suggest that you click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, and turn those notifications on so that you get notified as soon as I post. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, and I can't be more happy for myself and for you guys for making that possible. I am super grateful to each and every one of you who has subscribed to my channel and will subscribe to me in the future. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. And as a way to express my thanks, I will be doing a giveaway of a Legends Pass for the $20 one to one lucky winner once I hit 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you share this video with your friends and so that we reach that milestone as soon as possible. And yeah, if you have any thoughts about manipulate, leave them down below. I would love to reply to each and every one of you guys. And yeah, that is the end of the video, sadly, and I will be seeing you in the very next one. Until then, peace out.